Hello, guys, and welcome to another sweater chat, and we're going to talk about Scott Dolson. I have all the faith in the world in Scott Dolson. There have been times in the past where I've just kind of like not given him the benefit of the doubt because I didn't know how all this stuff went down with Mike Woodson and with the administration and everything like that they took away his ability to really make the decision. But I have a lot of faith in Scott Dolson. I believe no matter what, whether it's Ben McCollum, Dusty May, Chris Beard, or somebody else, I mean, the fact that he brought in Curt Cignetti into the football program has totally changed the culture of Indiana football in a short amount of time. This guy, if you know his background, Scott Dolson, Scott Dolson, he was born and raised in Michigan City, Indiana, where he attended Rogers High School. Following high school, Dolson graduated from O'Neill School of Public and Environmental Affairs with a bachelor's degree in management. While an undergraduate, Dolson was encouraged by Brooks to become a student manager for the Indiana Hoosiers basketball team. He served for this role for 4 seasons and became the program's head manager in 1988. Scott Dolson was there during the prime years of winning that championship and really probably seeing, as a kid, the season going from the 81 season to the season on the brink to winning in 87. You're never that far away. I remember when I was a kid reading that season on the brink, and I've read that a few times, and I always thought, wow, this is so negative about what's going on there and everything like that. But I mean, if you believe in the power of negative thinking, and I believe Scott Dolson does, I believe he has an innate ability to have an understanding about Indiana basketball. I mean, much more than I do or anybody else. I'm not saying I'm anybody, but we've all loved it from afar as fans. Scott Dolson has loved it from right up close as a fan, as a manager, as he was the head of the varsity club. And I don't know those years. And that's how we got promoted, I think, to head trustee in a certain time. And then he was the assistant to Fred Glass. Then he became the head athletic director after Archie Miller hired Fred Glass was hired. Archie Miller was hired by Fred Glass, and Mike Woodson was hired by Quinn Buckner, really. So Scott Dolson, he had his opportunity. A lot of times, I'll tell you, one of the hardest things to do in life is redefine yourself. That's why they steamrolled Scott Dolson. Like, a lot of times, if you're working at a place, and just like, Bob Knight, he really sowed his oats at Army, and then when he came to Indiana, he had everything and was put in charge. If you ever work for somebody and they don't really trust you and they don't really want to put you in charge, then you just have to walk away from that job. I mean, that's just all there is to it. Scott Dolson back in, but that becomes a really, really sticky situation, It's like George Costanza. Like, once you leave a job, all you're thinking about when you're walking out to your car is all the money that you just left out there on the table and all of the things you have to do now to get money. So it takes a lot of balls to walk away from a job like that. But, they steamrolled him back then. Now he's proven this with football. And this is bringing tons and tons of money into the university because you finally cut the strings off of his hot air balloon and let him fly into the sky. Fly into the sky, Scott Dolson, like a bird, like a plane. Just all of this stuff is not that difficult. But when you deal with characters like he's been dealing with a lot of hubris and a lot of things, I think it would be better off to get, there's an election this year. So look, they have elections for a reason. You're a crappy whatever, you're a crappy head trustee, you're a crappy this, then you can't sit there forever. They're going to get somebody else to do it. From all of this, I just have to say, in Scott Dolson, we trust. We got to trust this guy to make the right decision. And ultimately, with like Chris Beard, I would go to his hometown. I would go and really find out the roots of these people. And I know they're going to hire like a search firm and all that stuff that does a lot of the vetting process and does some of the talking to the in-between talking, because look, when you're directly talking about money with people, it gets sticky. I mean, that's why people have agents. That's why people have, nobody's like a professional negotiator and stuff like that. And it's always good to have somebody working on your side from the inside. So that's a good thing. But I believe Scott Dolson is going to, you know what? I'd get on that private jet. We got all this time. We got like 7-8 weeks till he's going to hire this coach. This is why I have such faith in Scott Dolson. Get on that plane, go over there to Texas, ask people questions. Ask people questions about Chris Beard. Go down to FAU, ask people questions about Dusty May. I know Dusty May seems like a shining star from the inside out, but one guy that this is like off the cuff, but a guy that was like the head writer at SNL that I really looked up to, and I really look up to now that talked about his problems and stuff like that, is John Mulaney. This guy, nobody would have thought this guy was addicted to cocaine. And he was. Does that make him a bad person? No, it doesn't. Look, there's a thing that goes on everywhere now. And I know I advertise betting apps on my site. To have people's vices closer and closer to them, it's a dangerous thing. In Indiana and still in New Jersey, there are blue laws in New Jersey. You can't sell anything in like Bergen County. You can't sell anything except for like milk, eggs, bare essentials. You can't sell any alcohol there because of the Catholic Church. Those blue laws have been in place forever. It's a good thing to keep people's vices like gambling and this and that far away from people. But what I'm trying to just really say here is, like, in today's culture, it's so prevalent that people get involved in this or that, and there are just so many things pulling at our strings. Even on these phones, every second of the day, there are people. It's like the attention economy. So you can never be too careful. I know I say a lot of things on this show about this and that and on my other show, but you can never be too careful. You need to do a real vetting process of Chris Beard, Dusty May, every one of these guys. Never just take somebody's word for it. Look, people that are really, really great at sales and really, really great at selling themselves in different things, like Curt Cignetti is. Curt Cignetti is really a salesman. He goes out there and he says, this is why you need to come to the games. Fast, physical, relentless. He's selling you. Like, he's selling all of us. And not only is he just selling us, but then we see the product that he brings to the table. And we're like, yep, I love this guy. That's just all there is to it. So, some of these sweater chats are going to be rambling episodes like this. Stuff right from the cutting room floor that me and Hillbilly Monkey just couldn't get out to you. Thank you for tuning into this sweater chat. And until next time, stay cozy out there, Hoosier fans.